Hey guys, this is Gerald from gr86projects.com. We have a couple of updates for you guys. One is that just give you guys a little bit of a background into what we've been doing the past couple of months. In the past couple of months, we've been actually having a third-party company assist us in doing our fulfillment for some of our products and our shipments. We've had some growing pains with them in the sense that we've had some issues, but we basically are trying to iron everything out, and we're trying to get it to the point where we can ship these things out as quickly as we get the orders in without having any delays or any shipment issues or anything like that. So yeah, that's one of the updates that we have for you for shipment purposes in regards to our products. And hopefully at this point, I think we're all good now. There's no more issues that we have, and we're currently basically up to tier with everything that we have going on with it, with them as in shipments. Second of all, we have an update for the physical gauge for the gr86, and we also have a beta software that we have for the gr86. And as you can see, this looks very similar to our previous gen, but it is actually a little bit different form factor. So this form factor basically on the air vent that we have there in the driver's side, you could take it off, and there's two halves of it, and there's a screw that goes in the middle of it that allows you to open up or close the air vent itself. Unlike other gauges, we just decided to leave the air vents open completely so that you still can get air conditioning through. And this is a press fit, so there is no need for the extra stem or anything like that. So this basically fits very snug up against the plastic, and it's perfectly fine. It doesn't rattle or there's anything wrong in that essence. And second of all, we've had the changes now to we have physical buttons here. We've had a lot of people that go on the track that typically wear gloves, and of course gloves don't necessarily work with touch sensors that like we had with the previous gen. So the previous gen ones we currently have touch sensors, but we'll when we launch this one for the gr86/brz for the 22s, we're also going to launch for the 13 through 20s with also physical buttons at the same time. So we're going to update that model. And then second of all, we also have an update going along with the buttons is now that our software on the gr86 will have an exclusively where the software can be set up via the gauge itself, so there's no more need to connect it to a computer. So that basically takes away one possible issue in case you ever have issues with a computer or something like that. And on the 13 through 20s, for the physical buttons, we're also going to have the same operating software on those ones as we have for the gr86. Of course, there is some differences between the two because there is some different signals going on between them, but in essence the menu systems are going to be the same, so it's again going to be the same setup. So what we have here, we'll just demonstrate by powering it up. When the car is in the on position or booting up, you just got to press these two buttons at the same time and you'll get to the main menu. The main menu allows you to do a couple of things. It allows you to switch like the different options that we typically would have on the computer. So your car color animation, we can change that. So we got white, steel gray, blue pearl, etc., the same ones that we have on the current ones. And that's on the left button. It cycles through the different options that we have for that particular menu setting. Then we go to the next one. Well, let's, for example, here we got temperature units, you got your pressure units, your AFR units. All you got to do, press and hold. It'll switch it over to the next option. Drive position, left hand drive, right hand drive, of course, if you want the animations. If you want to allow peak, the little number on the top of the on the regular gauge, that one, remember, is basically what the highest number of whatever you're actually viewing is, and it'll save it up to the top screen. And that allows you to like recall, like for example, if you're doing boost or something, where you want to know what's your highest boost number that you had. It allows you to basically keep that handy as you're going through. Distance units, we got your gauge color. So like for example, on the previous gen cars, everything on the interior, all the lighting accents were red. So if you want, you could switch it to red, or you could keep it normal. Normal just means that it's just white with that red line going across. It just basically is a nicer screen. But if you want to keep everything matching, you could always just switch it to red. If you want a clock, so when you turn off the car, you could have a clock show up. If you want to do that, that's great. It's up to you. You have 24-hour time or 12-hour time, however you want it. You can again set your clock hours and minutes. and then you could take off the animation. So if the animations of the door opening and closing bother you, or you can't see your screen that you want to, you could always just turn it off in these settings. Auto brightness, basically when you turn on your headlights, it'll dim a little bit, and according to your retrostat, it will also dim according to that. You could also switch it manually to like a lower brightness, for example, if it is a little bit too bright for you. So we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the main color page, and if you want to exit the main menu, all you got to do is just press and hold both buttons. And here, for example, because the car technically it thinks the car is on, it'll go to your gauges. Otherwise, it would just go to your blank screen if you don't have a clock, or if you have a clock, it will just go back to your clock. So here we have, as you can see, different gauges you can select. As you can see here, we have like for example RPM. You got your top number on the top there, and that's your peak and hold. So like for example, if you rev all of it to 7,000, I'll remember that was your highest number. And what happens is if you press and hold for 3 seconds, it will clear that number to whatever is your lowest, and so you could do another run and you can know your numbers. Press and hold both buttons, and then you get back to your main menu, to the screen menu, and you just got to press them for 8 seconds while the car is on or running in these screens. You can select different things. So here RPM, speed, AFR. So the same list that we have for the data available for the older software, it's the same exact same thing. So here let's go for, let's say, I don't know, G meter, right? So once you have select the G meter, you just press and hold both buttons. It'll save that as your setting, and it'll go into your G meter. So yeah, that's the basic software. You can select everything through here. We could have future firmware updates on this too. We have the software set up according to that, so we could always do that. So yeah, those are the couple of major updates that we have, and soon going along with this gauge for the gr86 and also for the 13 through 20 with the physical buttons. We're gonna have new boards coming in. It's not necessarily this one, but it looks very similar to our track box, where it interfaces between your gauge and the OBD2 cable that goes along with the kit. And then this allows you to connect external pressure sensors. So if you have like an oil pressure sensor you want to hook it up to, you could always do that and have the gauge being able to view it. We might have extra stuff to add on to here. So we have future expansion boards coming up pretty soon. So yeah, those are the updates that we have. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And yeah, if you like this video and you like our products, please hit a like or share us on Facebook, Instagram, or any other social media. Thank you.